Chapter 4. The Dark Secrets of the Education and Religious System. There is a very dark and evil side to the education process. If you are not aware of it by now, you already have been enslaved by it. Fortunately, there are ways to free yourself from the evil side of the education process. By the end of this book, you will know how to not only free yourself from the education system, but also free your mind and soul from the dead matrix of the dark forces. In USA, most of us start school around the age of 4 or 5. The first class that is used to school us to be good little sheep. Sheeple is kindergarten. The word kindergarten originated from two German words kinder and garten. When translated to English, kinder means children and garten means garden. Therefore, kindergarten literally means a garden of children. In English, the word garden means a plot of ground, usually near a house, where flowers, shrubs, vegetables, fruits, or herbs are cultivated. Now, ask yourself this question and think about it for a minute. Why would the dark magicians of the New World Order name the first official class of elementary school kindergarten? To comprehend why they did this, we need to turn our attention to the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and investigate the occult meanings of this story. According to the Bible, shortly after God created the heavens and the earth, He also created a garden and a man named Adam. This man was given dominion over the plants and animals in this garden, which was called the Garden of Eden. Shortly after creating Adam, God used one of Adam's rib to create a woman named Eve to be Adam's companion. Before I reveal some very controversial information about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, I need to show you the Bible verse Genesis 1:26 from the New King James Bible. This verse is important for helping you comprehend the occult meanings of the story of Adam and Eve. Here is the Bible verse Genesis 1:26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Did you notice that the first 7 words that God said was "let us make man in our image"? In this verse, the Bible is talking about more than one God. This is why the verse has the word us and our in it. When the Bible talks about God, it is not always talking about the Supreme Creator. In Genesis 1:26, the Bible could be talking about the alien gods that came from outer space. It has been mentioned by some biblical scholars that the early version of the Bible verse Genesis 1:26 was changed from "then Elohim said, 'Let us make man in our image,' to 'then God said, 'Let us make man in our image.'" The word Elohim is a plural noun and is a Hebrew word that when translated to English, it means gods. In Hebrew, the singular noun for God is the word Elo. According to Bill Donahue, the word Elohim means the divine male and female. From studying ancient records, many researchers of ancient civilizations concluded that these alien gods visited Earth thousands of years ago. One of the alien races was called the Anunnaki. During the ancient times, some of these alien races were worshipped as gods. Even today, many secret societies still worship these alien gods. Is it true that intelligent extraterrestrial beings have visited Earth? Based on my research, I can confidently say that there are some truths to this claim. Be aware that there is also a lot of false information in the public domain about extraterrestrial life. The alien gods were said to come from the stars. One of the stars is called Sirius. The word Sirius is related to the Latin word Siri, which translates to English as Sirius, greater dog star. Some ufologists believe that the Greys came from the Sirius star system, while others believe they came from Zeta Reticuli. The Latin word for Grey is Canis. This Latin word sounds very similar to the Latin word Canis, meaning dog or dog star. The Latin word Canis is related to the constellation Canis Major, which means the greater dog in Latin. Canis Major represents the bigger dog following the constellation Orion, which is known as the mythical hunter. Certain ancient civilizations believed that the stars were the physical manifestation of the different states of God. Hence, the term star god or sun god. When you spell the word God backwards, you get the word dog. Put the word dog in front of the word star and you get the term dog star. The information in the previous paragraph tells us that the word God has a strong connection to the word dog and Sirius, the star system where many of the ancient alien gods came from. This is why I sometimes do not like to use the word God to describe the Supreme Creator. When I do use the word God to describe the Supreme Creator, I often write it with a capital G to let people know that I am talking about the Supreme Creator. If you have studied the information in my 3rd seminar, you should know that the Bible is a religious book full of metaphors, allegories, codes, symbols, esoteric anagrams, and parables. Because of these things, if you do not know how to decipher the codes in the Bible, You are not acquiring truthful information but are reading deceptive information. This is why the sentences in the Bible are called verses. The word verse is defined as a single metrical line in a poetic composition, one line of poetry. One of the things about a poem is that it often has metaphors in it. If the information in the previous paragraph is hard for you to accept, look at the Bible verse Matthew 13:34-35 and you will find evidence showing that the Bible has parables. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. So is fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world. Because you now know that the Bible is a religious book full of parables, let us turn our attention back to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. When the Bible refers to Adam, it is not always referring to a man. In Genesis of the Bible, the character Adam is a metaphor for the first Adam. Adam is phonetically Adam. Adam represents both male and female, because every male or female is made of atoms. The name Adam Adm, meaning red or the red earth clod. It is related to the words Adam, Admoni, and Dam. This is where we get the name Edom, meaning the red man, and also Odom, meaning the sardius, ruby, or red jewel. The meaning of atom is such particles as a source of nuclear energy, the power of the atom. The atom is a basic unit of matter that consists of a dense central nucleus surrounded by a cloud of negatively charged electrons. In a previous article, The Science of 666, I had explained that the number 666 relates to the carbon atom and man. Carbon-12 is one of the 5 elements that make up the human DNA, being composed of 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons, which equates to 666. Carbon-12 is the most abundant of the 2 stable isotopes of the element carbon, accounting for 98.89% of carbon-21. Here is another way to decipher the hidden codes behind the biblical story of Adam and Eve. This method uses the art of cryptography to decipher the codes of the Bible, revealing another occult meaning of the story of Adam and Eve. Achromatic ciphers, as you know, are cryptograms about various letters of a sacred alphabet. In the achromatic cipher, the creation myths of the world are achromatic cryptograms, and the deities of the various pantheons are only cryptic characters which, if properly understood, become the constituents of a divine alphabet. The initiated few comprehend the true nature of this alphabet, but the uninitiated many worship the letters of it as gods. Thus in Adam and Eve, the proper achromatic transposition is to take the letter M and divide it into its constituent components, as thus, M equals IVI. This represents a division, which means double vision. Here we deal again in duality, or male, female. In the case of M equals IVI, we reorder the IVI to reveal 7, or the word 7. The 7 is then ciphered further as V equals Eve, 2 equals pi equals 80 M equals 1413 equals 3.141. Eve then is the number 666, and thus the letter M divides into 7 and then further into 7 and then further into Sn equals 3.14. Eve equals 666, and so forth. The letter M, therefore, is the primary cryptic letter to the Adam and Eve story, which further illuminates the core numbers of pi and 666, each central to the Illuminatus philosophy 22. The Garden of Eden is the garden where the alien gods created life using genetic engineering techniques. According to the book titled The Cosmic Code by Zacharias Sitchin, one of the alien races known as the Anunnaki came to Earth roughly 445,000 years ago. According to certain researchers of Zacharias Sitchin's work, the Anunnaki was one of the first alien races to tinker with the early humans' DNA. They also believed that the Anunnaki combined some of their DNA with some of the human test subjects' DNA, and were able to successfully create a new human hybrid race. This new human race eventually evolved to the humans of today. The idea that alien gods played a role in creating modern humans may sound crazy. However, in the last few decades, geneticists have discovered that the human DNA contains foreign DNA that may not be from Earth. This could explain the famous missing link in human evolution. Some researchers of these alien gods suggested that human beings were also used as a food source. This makes me wonder if the Garden of Eden is actually the Garden of Eden 23 besides. What else would they use a garden for? To grow food to eat? Right. If this were the case, then Earth would be the Garden of Eden. Is there evidence proving that human beings are being used as food? I have not found irrefutable proof that human beings are being used as food, so I do not know if it is true. However, I have found some evidence that points toward that direction, and I do know that human beings are being used as batteries. After you read chapter 5, you will know what I mean when I say that we human beings are being used as batteries. One of the things you need to know about the dark forces and the dark magicians is that they like to tell you what they are doing to you or are planning to do to you in movies and TV shows. They also like to use video games, music videos, and other popular media to tell you their future plans for humanity. In the movie Jupiter Ascending, there is a scene where Titus shows Jupiter a room full of thousands of vials that contain youth serums. By drinking the youth serums, it allows Titus and his race to live for thousands of years. What was shocking about the serums was that each one of them was made from harvesting nearly 100 dead humans. Could this be the ichor or golden blood plasma that the Greeks used to talk about? The golden blood plasma, which is believed by some researchers of occultism to have organic monoatomic gold in it, could be one of the main reasons why the dark forces and the dark magicians have been promoting the idea that alien gods will come save us, or that the rapture event will take certain people back to God. Keep in mind that when a religion refers to God, it is not always talking about the supreme creator. Many times, it is referring to the alien gods from outer space. The word rapture is connected to the Latin word raptus, which means a carrying off, abduction, snatching away, rape. Therefore, the deeper meaning of the word rapture is snatching or abduction. Christians who believe that they will be raptured to heaven have been deceived by the dark forces. Every time people die, their souls are raptured, abducted to heaven. This heaven is not the heaven where enlightened beings live. Instead, it is another control system of the Matrix used by the dark forces to trick naive and cowardly souls to go back into their reincarnation program, which is a program designed to prevent souls from leaving the Matrix. The Rapture program is another savior program created by the dark forces to keep us living in a state of victim consciousness, so that they can weaken our spiritual powers, allowing them to enslave our bodies, minds, and souls. The good news is that they can only rapture or abduct us with our consent. If the evil alien gods are after our golden blood plasma, then the ascension process that we are currently going through would be the best time to trick us to agree to be harvested from the Garden of Eden. They need to trick us because they need our consent. If they were to take us by force, they would violate the law of free will. To overcome the problem of violating our free will, the dark forces like to use spiritual contracts to trick us to give up some of the power of our free will. If you have signed a spiritual contract or agreed to participate in a religious contract, you can void certain parts of it at the spiritual level by saying that the contract is now null and void, and that the Supreme Creator is the witness to your claim. Keep in mind that the birth certificate is also a spiritual contract. In addition, you need to remove presumptions and correct your status by letting the government know that you are not a legal person. Two great websites that teach you how to do these things are privatease.me and curtisrichardkallenbach.xyz. If the human body can produce more organic monoatomic gold during ascension cycles, it would make sense for the alien gods of the dark forces to hijack certain levels of the ascension process. This will make it easier for them to trick us to agree to go with them. Maybe this is why ascension is sometimes called the harvest, as stated in the book titled The Raw Material. A word that gives us a clue to back up the harvesting of humans is the word fetus. Phonetically, the word fetus sounds similar to the term fetus. After the fetus is born, the fetus is officially a baby. When pronounced out loud, the word baby sounds like baby. The word bay is defined as a body of water partially enclosed by land but with a wide mouth, affording access to the sea. Because you are made of water, you are like the bay. As for the word bee, it is a name for identifying flying insects that are known for producing honey. Based on the previous two definitions, the word baby means a body of water that produces honey. Combine water and honey and you get the golden blood plasma that the alien gods need for longevity. More babies mean more golden blood plasma or honey for the alien gods. Why do you think a couple in a relationship call each other honey or baby? Because every human or baby, fetus has golden blood plasma or honey inside him or her. To connect the dots, when you are old enough to go to kindergarten, you are put into a shelter for housing a colony, also known as a hive. This shelter is used to school you to be a good little slave, so that when you grow up to be an adult, you are ready to work like a honeybee and produce golden blood plasma for the alien gods of the dark forces. The word colony sounds similar to cull honey. In legal terms, colony means a union of citizens or subjects who have left their country to people another and remain subject to the mother country. The word cull is defined as to reduce or control the size of by removal of especially weaker animals, Also, to hunt or kill is a means of population control. As for the word hive, it is defined as a shelter constructed for housing a colony of honeybees. Based on these occult definitions, the pubic school system is a colony. Cull honey for schooling kids to become good little sheep, so that when the time comes, they can be culled for their golden blood plasma, or honey. A colony or cull honey is also a great mind control system to hive off people or break people away from their larger groups for the purpose of population control. Have you ever heard of the Georgia Guidestones? The Georgia Guidestones has a message that says, "Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature." Whoever is behind this message wants the population of humanity to be reduced to 500 million people. This means that over 90% of the human population would have to die. Some people refer to this depopulation event as the Great Culling. Have you ever wondered why there are so many toxic chemicals in food, water, vaccine, and medicine? It may be related to the Great Culling. In kindergarten, one of the first things they teach you is the alphabet, which is made of letters created by using sacred geometry. These letters are ideograms, which are written symbols that represent ideas. One important thing you need to know about all written symbols is that they are created into existence from the egg and the serpent. The egg and the serpent are important symbols in the teachings of secret society. After they teach you how to write the letters of the alphabet, they also teach you how to spell words correctly. The hidden agenda of teaching you the alphabet and how to spell words correctly is to prepare you for the day you can cast magic spells through the use of spelling. Another reason why they teach you how to spell words correctly is to make sure that each letter is arranged the same way every time you write something. This will help strengthen the magic effects of certain words. Did you notice the term magic spell and the word spelling have the word spell in them? This was done by design. It is right in your face and hidden in plain sight. The hidden intent of spelling is to cast magic spells. Do you remember those spelling bee contests in middle school? The spelling programs of the education system are schooling children, babies to be good spellers, hence the term spelling bee. Besides teaching you how to spell, you are also taught how to say the alphabet correctly using specific sounds. This process is important for creating the right sound for each letter of the alphabet, which is essential for casting magic spells. The sound of each letter of the alphabet was created based on sacred sound. When you combine the letters of the alphabet and transform them into words and speak the words out loud, you are not just uttering words but are also casting your thoughts and vibrations into Earth's magnetic field or magic field, which is the energy field that creates the reality of Earth. If you are not careful and say certain words together, you can actually cast a spell without even knowing it. Most of us do not know how magic works because we lack the knowledge to comprehend energy mechanics and sacred geometry. Because of this, we have no idea what we are doing when we yell harsh words at one another using swear words or curse words. They did not call them curse words for no reason. Are you starting to see how all these words are related to magic and energy? Why do you think most parents tell their kids to stop cursing when they swear too much? Even at a subconscious level, we intuitively know that it is not good to use curse words too much. When you shout curse words at people, you are casting dark magic spells on them. Due to the power of the law of attraction, those magic spells can also be reflected back onto you. This is why you should be careful of the words you use when you yell at someone. After learning how to spell words correctly, they teach you how to cast those spellings into sentences and phrases without teaching you about the magic effects of spelling. The purpose of this is to prevent you from knowing the true intention and power of words, so that the dark magicians can control your mind using magic spells. Their magic spells cannot control 100% of your mind, but they do affect your mind more than you may realize. It is similar to how subliminal messages can affect your subconscious to a large degree. Subliminal messages are a form of magic spells. By now you should know what I mean when I said in the beginning of this book that nearly every word in the English language is carefully designed and put together by the minions of the dark magicians to trick you to play their con game. Most other languages are also created for this purpose. The magic power of words is the main reason why words are so effective for deceiving and enslaving you. Do you understand now why words are more powerful than swords? Words are powerful, but they are not as powerful as your thought, consciousness, awareness, and spiritual energy. Words can be used to create magic spells to control your mind. But if you become aware of their powers and how they are being used to control you, they cannot affect your mind as much. For example, when traditional magicians do magic tricks, they can fool you to believe that their tricks are real. But if you figure out how their tricks are done, You can no longer be fooled for the reason that you know their tricks are illusions. In other words, you have become aware of how their tricks work and therefore they cannot deceive you anymore. Other ways to protect your mind from magic spells are by overcoming your fears and increasing your frequency. These things can be achieved through the right knowledge and experiencing that knowledge into wisdom. The way magic tricks work is similar to how the dark magicians use real magic spells to control your mind. Once you become aware of how the dark magicians use magic spells to control you, their magic spells lose their effects. Your awareness is one of the most powerful spiritual powers that you have. Learn how to use it wisely and the dark magicians will not be able to control and deceive you using the art of magic.